A year ago, I hit fucking rock bottom. And when I mean rock bottom, I'm talking about the lowest of the low. My brother died, my mom died, the world basically ended. I broke up with a girlfriend of 4 years and I had nothing. I had everything, but I had nothing. I think the biggest issue today is that it's so easy to measure success with numbers, with ideas. You know, oh, he has 1,000 subscribers. Oh, he has this many views. Oh, he makes this much money. But the success in life does not come from the fucking amount of followers you have. It does not come from the amount of money in your bank account. It comes simply by having certain values and having those values being the core of your belief. And that was one thing that I really just lost total sight of. I had no values. I had no actual goals. I had nothing other than one idea, and that was to make more money, to get more fame, to then use more fame to make more money, and then to make more money. You get what I'm fucking saying here, right? You know, I was a bad friend. I was a bad boyfriend. I was bad on YouTube to a lot of people. I was just not where I wanted to be, and it wasn't what I wanted to be remembered by. I made a real decision when I was at the bottom, and it felt like there was nowhere to go other than either, number one, killing myself, or basically deciding that I was not going to die. And I think that's a human instinct, right? A human instinct that you want to be successful. And success, again, I'm not talking about fucking money. I'm talking about being successful in living, right? When we're laying on our fucking deathbeds, nobody's sitting around thinking, man, I wish I would have made more money, or oh man, I wish I would have fucking worked harder. Like, that's never gonna be a belief for anyone. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you say. Nobody is wishing to make more money when they're fucking dying. Everyone's wishing for one simple idea, and that is to live longer, to have more time. The choice that I made was to stop blaming other things, to stop blaming other people, to stop blaming the world, to stop blaming whatever blame I could create. I created so many different blames for the reason that my brother died. I created blames for the reason my mom died. I questioned everything, like, why me? Why was it that I had to have such a shitty life? Why did everyone that I loved have to die? Why did all these things have to happen to me? The more and more I started to think about it, the more that I looked inside, it was never about like, oh wow, like there's all these reasons to why things happen. It should have been the reasons of like why I allowed myself to emotionally get to a point that I had to create blame for these things happening, right? Like, people are going to die, and obviously, like, it's still, like, there's days where I fucking cry about it, and I think about it, like, you know, like, nothing's worse than losing your brother. Like, there's nobody in this world that I'll ever have that direct connection where, you know, like, we're the same DNA, or the same blood, and there's just something deeper about that. But having this resentment, having all this hate towards why these things happen, like, all this resentment and all the anger that I had poured over into my actual life with everything else. Moving to Hawaii, I had one simple goal, and that was to remove all that resentment, to stop asking why, to stop blaming other people, to stop blaming every fucking thing that there is to blame for all the reasons that my life seemed like a tragedy. But instead, if I can wake up every morning and do exactly what I want to do, every single day, you know, either that's making videos on YouTube, going surfing, working out, biking, doing whatever it is, like that's my ultimate success. The money, the fame, none of that matters. It's never mattered. Maybe I got caught up at one point and I let it kind of get to my head, but now having that rock bottom moment where I really did think about killing myself, and I thought about, you know, just ending everything, having that same emotion of wanting to give up, but reversing it to not giving up was probably like that moment where it just all clicked, where I just woke up and I said, all right, I'm gonna move to Hawaii. I'm gonna get in the best shape of my life. I'm 33 years old now, and I can confidently say that I am in the best shape I've ever been in, emotionally, physically, mentally. I've never felt better. I've never actually been better. Like, you can see, obviously, physical appearance, like I'm best I've ever been. And that really came from just that simple idea of not fucking just giving up and not just placing blame on everyone else. If everybody just figures out that, number one, time is the most precious thing, that enjoying life is the most precious thing, you know, the money, the fame, the success, like that shit means nothing. It literally means nothing, because when we came into this world, we came into this world with nothing. And then when we leave one day, we're going to leave with nothing. You know, all the drama, all the bullshit that we go through, like, none of it matters because we're going to leave this world exactly like we came into it with nothing. When I was at the rock bottom, and I'm sure a lot of people watching this video, like, you went through things, everyone's fucking been through things. And I'm sure there's somebody out there that's going to watch this video and they're going to think like, man, like, I'm exactly where I'm at, like where Patrick was. Like, I'm exactly at rock bottom right now. You know, maybe you've lost your job, maybe you've lost money, maybe you've lost your, whatever it is, you've lost things. And now you're trying to figure out what to do next. And I'm telling you, if you're at the bottom, there's nowhere else to go than up, baby. Because at the bottom, when you're at the rock fucking bottom, like, you're there. You're at the bottom, you fucking stand up, and you just decide that you're gonna go back up. And I'm not gonna say that I'm like at the highest point I've ever been in my life, but I do feel like I'm ready for all types of situations. I'm ready for it all. And a lot of that has come from my physical appearance, you know, the working out, pushing myself, because I got to a point where I was like, I had to go work out if I wanted to get results. You know, I had to put in the work to get the results. And that work, not only for, you know, physical appearance, but also mental and emotional. You know, you got to work on certain things to get to those levels emotionally, physically, mentally. You know, sitting around and crying and placing blame on everyone else and placing blame on everything else that's going on in the world, it's all bullshit at the end of the day. If you can't just take responsibility, if you can't just tell yourself like, look, you know, it is what it is. Like, there is nothing I can fucking do to solve all these problems that are in the world. There's nothing I can do to bring my brother back from the dead. There's nothing I can do, right? Like, the only thing I can do is to fucking keep living the best life that I can keep living and hopefully inspire somebody else, hopefully help someone else, or just be a better person. At the end of the day, like, I'm not trying to be some fucking inspiration out there for people, but I do want to get to a point where, like, I can help somebody. Like, I can be a better person. Even if it's just someone on the side of the road to help them, they got a flat tire. Like, that's like the real goal for me, like the value in life at this point is being able to wake up every morning doing exactly what I want to do. And then also, if I can help someone along the way, like, that's a win-win. If I can do what I want to do every day, but also help someone along the way, living the dream. A year after everything, after I was at the rock bottom and I went through all that shit, like, I'm at the point now where, like, living to me is the only thing that I'm worried about. Like, that's my focus now and that's my value. I wouldn't say I'm happy that I went through all that shit, but I'm happy that I was able to get to where I am now. So if you're there, if you're at the bottom, make that choice that you want to get there. Because it's not going to be fucking easy. I'll tell you right now, it will not be easy emotionally, mentally, physically to get to that point. You know, if you're fat, if you're fucking depressed, if you're fucking sad, all those issues, they all come from within, right? Like, those are all issues that you can work on, that you can build on, that you can decide today. Like, I do not want to be unhappy. I want to be happy. Wanting something, putting in the work and doing it and having that actual fucking obtainable goal, like, that's what it's all about. Like, that's the fucking epitome of living. That's the epitome, my friends. So again, not to say that I'm trying to be some inspiration, but whatever you're going through, whatever shit it is, if you're going through something right now, just know that there's a lot of other people out there going through exactly the same thing.